Sorry, guys. So one of my missions is to help other people understand the truth about food. And so, as Sandy said, I'm going to share with you some of the major links between nutrition and disease. So it's really going to come down to that and how food really plays a part. And it's not everything, there's exercise, there's drinking water, there's sleeping, all these other important things. But a lot of it's going to come down to what am I putting in my mouth every single day, and what choices can I make that might be better. So let's check it out. Hopefully I get the right person here. Yes, good. Okay, so it comes down to one simple change. And there was a big change for me 17 years ago, which I'll share with you. And so why should we take care of our bodies? It's because it's the only place we have to live in. We're not going to get new kidneys all of a sudden, new livers all of a sudden. We've got to really take into account that our bodies are filtering all these things that might be harmful to us. And we want to feed our bodies the right fuel, and also have really good daily habits so that we have optimal health later in life, not just for now, but for many years to come. And however many years you want to live, they call it live long, die short, instead of live short, die for a long time, like be at the care of the hospital, stuff like that. We don't want that. So we want to take care of our bodies. And Thomas Edison said it many years ago, and we know that was many, many years ago when he existed, the doctor of the future will no longer treat the human frame with drugs, but rather will cure and prevent disease with nutrition. So it really does come down to that. And he knew that really the doctors should be thinking about that. When you go to the doctor now, though, they are not really totally interested in talking to you about nutrition. Many of them have not had nutrition courses in their medical schooling. They have an option to take nutrition. It's an elective. So some of them elect to, some of them elect not to. And there are some out there that really do pursue wellness. You got to look for those people though. But it really does come down to real food. Real food doesn't have a label. It is what it is. Those grapes are grapes, those apples are apples. And so real food are like nuts, peanuts, and they don't have long, huge labels. If you look at the watermelon on the right, you can see that it rots. I don't think you need to wait 80 days to see it rot, but it does rot. And then the not so happy meal down at the bottom, that actually is very processed, and sometimes it doesn't rot at all. And so you have to wonder, well, what is that doing to my body? How is my body taking that in and filtering that and making my body work better? It probably isn't. Okay. So we like to say if it doesn't rot or sprout, throw it out. So why would it rot or sprout? Because it's alive. And so you want to think about, I want to eat live foods because I'm alive and I need live enzymes. And that's really what it is that makes it rot or sprout. And the striking reality is that many people are eating a lot of processed foods. If you go down the aisles in the grocery store, you're probably eating some processed foods. If you stay in the perimeter of the aisles, you're not eating as many processed foods. Dr. David Katz of Yale says that children nowadays are more harmed by poor diet than by drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined. So that's how important nutrition is. 75% of disease is preventable through good nutrition, and it really comes down to that foundation of fruits and vegetables. Doctors researched 4,500 studies on what keeps us healthy. The only common denominator was fruits and vegetables. And so, unfortunately, we don't eat enough of them, and if we do, we're not necessarily eating a variety. We might eat the same ones all the time. And statistically, I've heard like less than 2 a day. And really, we're supposed to fill half our plate with fruits and vegetables every day. And the government recommendation is 7 to 13 as a minimum. Now, that's a minimum in a society where there's a lot of disease, There's a lot of cancer, there's heart disease, there's all types of autoimmune disorders. So we really want to even go beyond the minimum. We want to eat as many fruits and vegetables all day long and a variety. And vine ripen, raw if you can, and dark and dense ones. And so a lot of people try to bridge that gap, though, of not eating the right foods every day by taking a vitamin supplement. So I want to take you, on a little education about vitamins for a second. And what's really interesting is if you even look on the internet and put in, how many vitamins have ever been discovered or identified, the number is 13. It's not a huge number. And so there's whole stores called vitamin this or that, but there's only been 13 vitamins ever identified. Then when you take a mineral supplement along with that, or maybe minerals are included, you might get 30 in that multivitamin. But in an apple, there's 10,000. In a pear or a peach or a pepper, there's 10,000. So when you have a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, you're getting 10,000 here, 10,000 there, 10,000 the next one. So you're getting hundreds of thousands of nutrients when you actually eat fruit or vegetable. So on this page, it shows you one page of 25 of what's in an apple. Okay, so say for instance, they're looking to replicate vitamin C. So they go in there and they find vitamin C and they say, oh, that's good. That's easy to replicate. We're going to put that in the multivitamin. And also it's attached to the disease called scurvy. So we're going to identify it. That's what they have to do each time in order to identify a vitamin. It needs to be easy to replicate and attached to a specific disease in order for them to say, okay, let's name this particular thing that's in the apple. So there's 10,000 phytochemicals. So you can't really replace that with a multivitamin. A lot of people try to. It's really important instead to eat lots and lots of fruits and vegetables. And this is the American Cancer Society poster. And this is what really hit me 17 years ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, how did I not know this? That this is how you prevent cancer. And I have a couple master's degrees and I'm like, man, I should have got it in nutrition. This is so interesting that this is what I should be eating to prevent cancer. Now, nobody ever thinks they're going to get cancer, number one. But also if they do, I thought it was just doled out randomly. I didn't really think there was something I should be doing every day. So this just kind of made me want to eat more blueberries in addition to the chocolate cake or before the chocolate cake or maybe instead of the chocolate cake. I'm not sure. But definitely making me think, okay, I need to take in a lot more fruits and vegetables than I was. And truthfully, I'm a stay-at-home vegetarian, but still can't take in enough fruits and vegetables every day that I should. So let's talk about why, though. Why? So we've talked about the vitamins. There's a lot of vitamins. Helps prevent cancer and other diseases. It's not just cancer. Like if you look up stroke, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, anything you're afraid of, it's going to tell you eat lots of fruits and vegetables. That's the number one thing. So what happens on the cellular level, though, is really important. And this is really why I love to educate about this, because when I learned about oxidative stress, I was like, oh my gosh, this is how you can slow the aging process. This is how you can slow the disease process by really being cognizant of oxidative stress. So every day that we're breathing, that we're eating bad, or that we're stressed, or any of those things, we have a certain amount of oxidative stress. And everybody's got it. It just depends on how much do you have. And then every day we need to have a certain amount of fruits and vegetables to neutralize that oxidative stress, okay? Every day that you don't have enough fruits and vegetables, it's said that it's like standing in front of an X-ray machine, that there's that much damage. There's actually 10,000 oxidative hits on your good cells, which cause mutation and disease over time. Because there's a byproduct of oxidative stress, it's called free radicals. Those free radicals hit on your good cells 10,000 oxidative hits. Whether, it doesn't matter what kind of cells, all the different cells, they have oxidative stress. So if you've seen somebody who you might say has had a hard life, because they've had so much oxidative stress, they've not had the antioxidants to combat that every single day. So you really want to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables to slow the aging process and to slow that disease process. And that's why the Time magazine article says the news isn't that fruits and vegetables are good for you, it's that they're so good they could save your life. And you can see that a lot of people, when they're diagnosed with something, they all of a sudden start juicing. They're trying to get as many fruits and vegetables into their body as possible. And Juice Plus was created 25 years ago based on the juicing concept. And that's what turned things around for me 17 years ago. When I started to learn about this, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so thankful that I'm taking in all these fruits and vegetables, because I had no idea. Thankfully, a friend of mine who knew a lot more about juicing and all kinds of other things, she introduced me to Juice Plus and totally took me on a better track to health. And what it is fruits and vegetables and berries that have been juiced for you, and they're vine ripened, which is really key because you get a lot more nutrients. They're dark and dense because those have a lot more nutrients, and they're raw, and that's important because they still have the enzymes. All those things that make it great. Then they're juiced. They take out the salt, the sugar, and the water, and they put it into capsule form. And then for people who cannot swallow, or children, they put it into chewable form. So we take 2 red, 2 green, 2 purple every day. My whole family, I have a family of 5. And, you know, that really is one of our definite baseline things that we do as a daily habit. It's really hard to find daily habits that are simple and yet powerful, you know, impactful on your health. And that's really one of them. Juice Plus is a food and it is not a supplement. So if you look up at the top right, it says nutrition facts. It doesn't say supplement facts. If you go in your cabinet later, look at all your different things that you've bought along the way and see what says supplement facts. That means it's an isolated vitamin, most likely. But Juice Plus is a whole food. So it's got the whole food where it's got the synergy of action of that tomato that has thousands of nutrients, or that apple or whatever. So it's a whole food product. The certification, something that really makes it different than a lot of products out there. You know, when you're buying a supplement, you don't really know if it works and you don't really know if it's safe unless you have research behind it and unless you have a third party that validates it. The NSF certification means a lot. That is a not-for-profit agency that ensures that there are no herbicides, pesticides, heavy metals, mold, bacteria, and banned substances. And so much so that Major League, you know, baseball or Olympic teams can take it. They have an NSF sports certification for that also. It is the most researched nutritional product in the world. And it's actually the largest selling nutritional product in a capsule in the world. And you can see down at the bottom all these different medical centers and universities that have done Juice Plus research, not research on a fruit or vegetable and then they therefore say Juice Plus did this or that. The actual research is on Juice Plus with humans, and this is what they found. You know, they found that, yes, I like to start from over here, you guys, if you're following along. Yes, it's absorbed by the body. Yes, it reduces that oxidative stress within 28 days. It actually protects the DNA. What happens with the free radicals hitting on the good cells, if you guys remember me telling you about that, is there's a little bit of damage every time. Now, we all have damage to our DNA, but we can actually take some of that damage away, you know, and that's what we've found through Juice Plus research. There's not as much DNA damage. When DNA replicates, it's like making a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy on a copy machine. Well, you want that reduced as much as possible, that damage. And so they've found 40 to 66% less DNA damage every time it replicates, which is amazing. And they did this at a place where they look at strand breakage. So really important stuff. And then supports immune health. You know, within 80 days, your T cells are up, your natural killer cells are up, and your immune system is so much better. And then supports healthy skin and gums. I like to say, you know, people spend thousands of dollars, maybe hundreds of dollars, I don't know, on healthy skin and gums, but really it comes down to what's going on in your gut. And so having Juice Plus in your body every day is really important. Supports lung health in smokers. What they found was better pulmonary function, less oxidative stress in smokers. So if you can't take the people away from smoking, at least you can help reduce that oxidative stress. You can help them to breathe better. That's important. They did a study on overweight boys just with one of each capsule, and they found better insulin resistance and less adiposity around the waist, which is fat around the waist. They looked at ovarian cancer patients at MD Anderson Cancer Center, and they found better protein status. And they found also that we're going to tell you about our complete shake, and that it was totally safe, and that also there was less recurrence of that stage 4 ovarian cancer. They also found healthy inflammatory response as far as chronic systemic inflammation, that it was less. And systemic inflammation is a culprit for many, many diseases. And then Juice Plus, there's been about 5 different studies showing better cardiovascular wellness. And I would have to go on and on. So I'm sure you guys don't want to hear that. But it's all on our juiceplus.com website to read any of the abstracts or the journals. But basically, your heart is better with Juice Plus and all your systems and blood vessels. Here's my before and after picture. That's when I was 32 at the top and I knew nothing about nutrition. And that book to the right is what I tried to read in the part where it says the best odds diet. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what you're talking about. So I kind of had to skip over that a little bit. But thankfully, my friend introduced me to Juice Plus in time for him to be 6 months old. And then I was pregnant with my second one right away, Irish twins. And so I had 2 baby boys back to back. But thankfully, the second one, I was able to use Juice Plus as my prenatal. And then the bottom picture is after many changes and baby Emma, and I was 40. And so the doctor was not thrilled that I was pregnant at age 40, but I was like, I didn't feel age 40, for one thing. I didn't really feel old, But according to him, my eggs were 40 years old. So I was like, well, listen, buddy, I have made so many changes. I'm so much healthier now than I was then. And sure enough, I had a healthy baby girl. So she was just fine, and there she is. And so Juice Plus has been a real foundation for our health as a family. It's kept us out of the doctor's office. Really, they call us because we don't go in. They're like, you guys should really come in for your wellness check. And then with Matthew, who didn't have Juice Plus as a prenatal, he's very healthy, and they actually had to look for his file in the storage. So anyway, we've been able to use that every single day. So it's really a great healthy habit. Also, we have the complete shake every day, which Sandy's going to tell you a little bit about. And so I'm happy to have Sandy on the line here tonight to share her story about how Juice Plus has changed the health of her family and what other changes she's been making. So go ahead, Sandy. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Sharon. And hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking time to join us tonight. I'm really excited to have you guys hear this information. And as I mentioned at the beginning of, before we got started, was I first learned this information myself about 3 years ago. And for those of you who know my family today, which this picture was taken just this past Thursday for Thanksgiving, we all look, in quotations, pretty healthy, right? You would never know that I'm a former recovering 2 cheeseburger a meal day eater. My husband ate like every bad thing under the sun and was almost prescribed prescription blood pressure and cholesterol medication, or that my son was in and out of the hospital. But let me tell you, when I did hear about Juice Plus, I actually, Sebastian was about 18 months old, maybe a little more than that. But at the time, he had just started daycare. And for those of you who know him today, you would never know, but he was that really sick kid. We were in and out of the hospital. He had strep throat, bronchitis, RSV. There were points that, his prescriptions weren't even working, that we would end up in the hot tub or the jacuzzi at like 3 o'clock in the morning trying to bring his temperature down, because we were on that rotation of ibuprofen and Motrin and Tylenol, all those series of things, and they just weren't working anymore. And everyone that I asked about, why he was so sick, or, what could I do to make him better, everyone said the same thing. It's a rite of passage. They just have to build up their immune system, and in a couple of years, he'll be good as fortunately, I'm really happy to say that I learned about the importance and the link of nutrition and diet and disease. And, I met one of my friends, and she said, actually, if you start, maybe eating some more fruits and vegetables, reducing his dairy, doing a couple of these different things, this may, turn the trajectory of his health. And here's a good place to start with these fruit and vegetable gummies. And we did. And I would say within, one of the things that I forgot to mention is his constipation. Within just a few days, I would say the first week, maybe less than 7 days, his constipation, which before we would have to sit in like warm bath and rub his belly, and it was terrible. Oh my gosh, so painful for him. Within just a few days, he was going like clockwork every single morning. And I will tell you, even today, like anyone who we stayed over your house overnight, sorry. Because the next morning he's like, Mommy, I have to go to the bathroom. I'm like, oh, let's go quickly. We know it's time. So not only was, constipation was the first thing that we noticed right away that turned around, but also over time, I noticed that he wasn't getting the ear infections anymore. He wasn't having the strep throat. He didn't, have asthma flare-ups or anything like that. And I came to realize that really flooding his body with the fruits and vegetables every single day made such a huge difference. I'm really thankful personally, because I never knew the difference. And that's why I'm so passionate today, is I want to share with people to learn there is a better way out there. You don't have to be sick. You don't have to follow, it's not genetic. It's not, you don't have to go down that path. And one thing, that I'm most passionate about, of course, is sharing with mommies, because I had that issue myself. And our company is so because they have something called the Child Health Study. So now Sebastian is actually taking advantage of that program as well. But the Child Health Study has results that show all of these things. I mean, among the things that are listed is what Sebastian's experienced himself, which is less doctor visits, eating more fruits and vegetables, feeling better, less prescription medications. But not only is he the only one affected, there's over 200,000 other kids that have been involved in the Juice Plus Child Health Study, where the children get their fruit and vegetable gummies for free with the order of one adult. But it's amazing of so many people who have had that same experience. So we're really thankful as a family. It really has changed the picture of our health personally, and we're so thankful for it. So one thing that's pretty amazing, I think Sharon mentioned it, she showed a graph of our 30 fruits and vegetables. But in addition to that, we have the complete shake as well. And I don't know if any of you have ever had a shake before. Before joining this community, I had never even thought of drinking a shake. I don't know how you feel. And poor Alyssa, I know she's on the line. Sorry, Alyssa, that we're always offering smoothies, because that's really what we do at our house. I mean, for breakfast every morning, for breakfast every single morning, we have our chocolate shake. And I actually don't even know what I had for breakfast before we started Juice Plus. I was trying to think of that today when I was having a walk with Sebastian, and I was asking, and I'm like, I don't even know. But now it's religious. Like, even if we're going out to, my husband sometimes on the weekends when we go out to breakfast, Sebastian will say, Mommy, can we have a shake before we go? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. And then after school, we always have our shake, or actually after school, we call it our smoothie, because we have vanilla mixed with different frozen fruits. So poor Alyssa comes after school, and I'm like, Alyssa, would you like water or a smoothie? Because we really don't have much else that we snack on here at the house. But here are some of the great facts about the complete shake itself. I mean, it's all plant protein, it's low glycemic, it's got tons of fiber in it, tons of protein, which helps keep you full longer. And of course, the fiber also helps with the constipation moving along. But what's amazing, I think personally for my family, and I don't know how many of you guys deal with toddlers or children every day, but I think it's pretty amazing that we get to leave our house by, 7:30 in the morning or so, and we've already had 45 plants in our diet. Between the gummies or the capsules or the shake, we are really getting in, our daily servings. And as she mentioned, it's 9 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. So I think it's pretty awesome that we get to do that. And it's such an easy way. I mean, the complete shake is so amazing. So any of you guys that want samples, I would be more than happy to share with you. But it's really, I just love it myself. And we don't only drink smoothies. We also have other things. So like the top left-hand corner there is what we call almond butter hearts. And I just have to share a funny story. We've been eating almond butter hearts now we've been eating almond butter snacks, I would say, for the last probably 3 years. And probably last year, I think it was, Sebastian got tired of the balls, because I was making it like the ball at the bottom. I was making it into an almond butter ball. He said, Mommy, I really don't want almond butter balls anymore. I said, oh gosh, okay. So I said, okay, I have a new recipe, buddy. It's for almond butter hearts. So I had the same recipe. I squished it down, and I used a cookie cutter, and now I call them almond butter hearts. And I'm telling you, we always have those in our refrigerator. It's like a staple in our house. And then also we use it to make, there's cookie dough balls. But what's fun, not only are we eating all these healthy things and making these, small, simple changes at a time, but he's really involved in it. So kids will be likely to be involved in it too. He loves it. I mean, if you can see him in the bottom there, he's there was apparently, according to him in that picture, there was some shake left in the blender. So he took it upon himself to drink it. So trust me, if my 5-year-old will drink this, it's gotta be good. I mean, I love it. And I do want to mention too, his gummies, I do send to school with him also in the afternoon. They never come back. I mean, there's some things that come back in the lunchbox that I'm surprised of, but the one thing that never comes home are his gummies for sure.
That's awesome.
So one of the things, and Juice Plus itself, the capsules or the shakes are a great start. It's a great one simple change. But for those people who are looking for something a little bit more, which I do a little bit of everything, so I'm always looking for more. I love participating in what we have is called the 10-day shred. So the 10-day shred is you eat the capsules, you have two shakes a day. It's no dairy, no gluten, and you can see the list there. But what's really nice about that is it takes a lot of the thinking out of your day. So for example, if you're having a shake for breakfast in the morning, a shake for lunch in the afternoon, you really only have one meal to think about. And all you got to think about is no dairy, no gluten. So it makes it pretty easy. And I know that Sharon's family has had great results as well with the shred. I don't know if you want to share that story also, Sharon.
Yes, thank you, Sandy. Well, we started out, we heard that having 2 shakes a day was making a huge difference for people in the UK, believe it or not. And people started to say it's transforming people and stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, let's try this. My husband's always struggled with weight issues. And in this picture, I guess he had lost 14 pounds, but he's since lost 30 or 40 pounds. So if you look at the picture to the right, with his shirt that's blue, that was his before picture. And his mom had plugged it into the TV, the computer. And we're like, oh, he's like, is that what I looked like? And so he stood beside it. And that's why the before and after picture is like that. We were on vacation in Myrtle Beach. Anyway, but around that time, we had really been excited about what we called our 4S plan, which I still think is a really good plan. And it's kind of shreddable, it's still in line with the shred. Soups, salads, smoothies. And so when we say soups, we're not talking about broccoli and cheese. We're talking about vegetables, beans, things that grew from the ground. You could put like quinoa, stuff like that. Salads, which we know are very healthy, and then smoothies. So, and we do 2 smoothies a day. And then one of the parts of the shred, which I think is really important, is not to eat after 6 or 7. A lot of people who want to lose weight, they don't eat breakfast and they eat a lot at night. So it's important to kind of restructure their day. And so it really helped with my husband. And it's really just a healthy kind of way to eat. But the shred, we have those periodically. We're starting another one December 5th. And my husband's been doing the shred over and over. And actually, Susan, since you're on here, you're going to have to tell us about your shred experience. You can unmute. Wait, let me see if I can unmute you. There we go.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I've had a great time shredding. This will be my 3rd shred. I had lost about 50 pounds, and with the shred, I was able to lose more, get past that plateau that I had going on. And I love it. I'm looking forward to the shred December 5th, and I'm all in.
Thank you. And you should have seen her picture on Facebook today. Well, actually, I was on the phone with her. This is my sister. And she was saying, well, I think I'm going to hop off the phone. This is before having a Thanksgiving meal for her family today. And she said, I think I'm going to hop off the phone. It's really a nice day. I'm going to go rake the leaves. I'm like, what? The last time I saw her in Ohio, she was not happy. She was sweating and sitting in a recliner. And so just, shredding some pounds, shredding some bad habits, it's really helped a lot, right?
Yes, it has.
And so I'm glad that she's embraced a healthier lifestyle, and it includes Juice Plus and probably 2 shakes a day.
Yeah, 1 or 2, absolutely.
1 or 2 every day. Same with us. But basically it all comes down to, and you don't have to lose weight at all. But you want to just feed your body good nutrition. People ask me, well, what about this disorder? What about this disease? What about this? What about that? What about, all their different things? Because people have a lot of disorders and diseases that they're trying to get control of. And really every day matters. Every day matters consistency of habits. And good nutrition is always going to equal good results. And so when you put healthy, concentrated nutrition into your body every day, it's always going to pay off. You're going to feel better. You're going to look better. You're going to slim down if you are overweight, because it's healthier to eat plants, So as much as you can increase plants, decrease animal in your diet, and decrease those other things like processed foods, you're going to have better results. So good nutrition equals good results. So I want to encourage you guys to grasp hold of that. And we have a great Facebook group that provides really good recipes, ideas. We actually have a new shred group forming, and those people are really, really good at being creative, at coming up with really healthy foods, And so people in the shred are amazing. They come up with awesome things to share with people. So make sure you get in that shred group. And then Juice Plus as a foundation has never been on the chopping block for me. We take the trio blend every day. We do the complete shake every day, once or twice a day for the whole family. And those are our baselines, for good nutrition. And basically it's buying us healthier bodies every single day. Well, here are our Juice Plus products. We don't have 1,000 products, you know. Our product is what drives our whole company because everybody wants it, you know. Everybody understands that it works, and it's a great way to bridge that gap with fruits and vegetables and berries. And so that's in capsule or chewable. And then we have the macronutrients, which is like the gas in the car. You need to eat a good meal every day. You need to eat 3 good meals every day, probably. And that's a great solution. And what we like to do, like Sandy, you had a picture of the salad jar, right?
Uh-huh.
So when I do a salad jar party, I say, you know, we only have to think about 1 meal a day. If we do the shake in the morning and we do the salad jar for lunch, then you just have to worry about dinner, which isn't that a relief in itself. And then we have the Tower Garden, which kind of showcases that we're all about healthy living. We're all about whole food nutrition. This is a way to get plants that don't have herbicides and pesticides. They're vine ripened because you don't have to pick them till you're ready to eat them. And they're not gassed, irradiated, things like that, you know. So that's a way to grow your own fruits and vegetables on your porch. It's hydroponic and aeroponic, and Sandy can, of course, tell you more about that. Sandy, do you want to say any last words before I turn off the recording? Then we can always ask questions afterwards.
Nope, I think that you definitely did cover all of it. I will say that the Tower Garden is one thing that it really was taking the next level for me of the healthy living in general. Is not only was I eating the fruit and vegetable concentrates every day or the plant powders, but now I'm growing my own. So I can't tell you how rewarding and how much fun it is to grow your own lettuce, for example. Like, you know, I'll say, today we're going to have lettuce for dinner. And I don't have any cucumbers growing now, but when I did, Sebastian would say, oh, Mommy, can I go get a cucumber for you? So he'll run outside and grab it. Or, you know, depending on what lettuce we're having, if I have friends over, they'll say, what kind of salad? And I'm like, well, would you like arugula or gourmet mix or bib? You know what I mean? So not only is it so awesome to eat your own lettuce and grow it own, but it's really cool to share it with others too.
That's true. And when I see it growing on my Tower Garden, I'm like, okay, what do I do with this? So then I stick like a piece of kale and a shake, or I make mint because I have mint shake, you know. So yeah, I like it. I like it because it reminds me that I need to eat more fruits and vegetables too. Okay, well, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to turn off the recording, and that way you guys can ask any questions or make any comments.